Brittany Miller, and I did an investigation into current child abuse prevention programs and local interest in such programs. Rates of child abuse have remained consistent over the last 2 decades, and life outcomes are impacted for children who experience maltreatment. In formulating my research question, I found that I was unaware of the level of desire for prevention programs within our community. In doing my literature review, I determined that administering an anonymous survey via Qualtrics to community members was an appropriate way to measure community interest in such programs, and I hoped that engaging with individuals within family systems and within the community would be beneficial in assessing and evaluating the need for intervention in this area. My personal bias towards allocating resources to protect children could impact my presentations of the questions, so I made a concerted effort to present them in a way that would allow for my findings to be unobstructed by my own hopes that community members would demonstrate an interest in these programs. Once obtaining IRB approval, I managed the risk to participants by not collecting identifying information from them. I also worked to make my informed consent form as clear and understandable as possible to remain in compliance with this social work value. Funds towards child maltreatment prevention programs are underutilized, and many resources for child abuse are allocated towards intervention as opposed to prevention. I found that many people would prefer prevention programs be in an online format. This may indicate a need for PCIT-based programs to be made available to parents remotely, with the ultimate end of reducing the risk of abuse and neglect. In future research, I would like to increase the relevancy of this study to other diverse populations. There is a need for further exploration of which communities are most vulnerable to child abuse and how to implement programs in a way that would decrease the rates of child maltreatment within these communities. I recommend that further research be done to assess the vulnerability of specific communities in regard to child abuse and maltreatment. Engaging with community members directly gave me insight into local interest in child abuse prevention programs, which was the aim of my study. However, assessing various communities with diversity that is distinct from those surveyed in my research would give further insight into this topic and would help inform best practice when approaching a solution to this topic.